Have you ever wondered why two traders can look at the exact same chart, take the exact same setup, and yet one walks away consistently profitable while the other keeps blowing up account after account? It isn't luck, it isn't secret indicators, and it definitely isn't because one person is smarter than the other. The truth is far more uncomfortable. The moment everything changed for profitable traders wasn't the day they found the perfect strategy. It was the day they stopped fighting themselves, the day they realized the market wasn't stealing their money. Their emotions were, their fear was, their ego was, their need to be right was. If you've ever revenge traded, held on to a losing position hoping it would come back, or felt like the market was personally attacking you, then this video is going to hit differently. Because this isn't just another trading video. This is about the invisible shift that separates gamblers from professionals. The shift that transforms chaos into confidence, hesitation into discipline, and inconsistency into long-term success. Stay with me until the end, because you're going to discover the psychological turning points that every consistently profitable trader experiences. You'll learn why discipline always beats intelligence, why emotional control creates financial freedom, and why the biggest breakthrough in trading has nothing to do with the market at all. By the time this video is over, you'll understand that the moment everything changed for profitable traders could become the moment everything changes for you. Chapter 1. The lie. Every losing trader believes the hardest truth you'll ever face as a trader isn't hidden inside a chart. It isn't locked inside a secret indicator. It isn't waiting inside some expensive course. It's staring back at you every single time you look in the mirror. And most traders spend years running from it. You tell yourself the market is manipulated. You tell yourself you just need a better strategy. You tell yourself that once you find the perfect setup, everything will finally change. But let me tell you something. That story is the biggest lie losing traders ever believe. Every time you blame the market, you protect your ego. Every time you search for another strategy, you avoid looking at the real problem. Every time you convince yourself that success is only one indicator away, you postpone the transformation that actually matters. The market doesn't care how badly you want to win. It doesn't reward hope. It doesn't reward effort. It rewards discipline. It rewards patience. It rewards emotional control. And that's exactly why so many traders never make it. They walk into the market looking for money when they should be looking for truth. The market doesn't just test your strategy. It tests your character. It tests your patience. It tests your confidence. It tests your ability to stay calm when everything inside you is screaming to act. Think about your last losing trade. What happened after the loss? Did you immediately look for another setup? Did you increase your position size because you wanted your money back? Did your mind whisper, I can't end the day like this? That whisper is dangerous. That whisper has emptied more trading accounts than bad analysis ever could. Because the moment trading becomes personal, logic disappears. The moment your identity becomes attached to every win and every loss, your decisions stop being professional and start becoming emotional. Understand this. Profitable traders don't have fewer emotions. They simply refuse to let those emotions make decisions for them. They feel fear, but they follow the plan. They feel excitement, but they respect their rules. They feel disappointment, but they never chase the market for revenge. That is the difference. Not intelligence, not talent, not luck. Discipline. Pure discipline. The turning point comes when you finally realize that every losing trade isn't proof that you're a failure. It's feedback. Every mistake is exposing something inside you that still needs to change. It showed you your impatience, it showed you your greed, it showed you your fear, it showed you the truth. And truth is uncomfortable because it demands responsibility. The day profitable traders stopped blaming the market was the day everything began to change. They accepted that they couldn't control price, but they could control themselves. They couldn't predict every outcome, but they could control every decision. That single realization changed everything, because once you stop trying to conquer the market, you finally begin conquering yourself. And that is where the real journey begins. But accepting that truth is only the first step, because the next lesson is even more painful the moment you realize that the greatest obstacle to consistent profits has never been the market. It has always been your own identity. Chapter 2, the pain that forced a new identity. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the person you've been trying to become is the very reason you've stayed stuck. That realization doesn't feel inspiring. It feels crushing. It feels like every excuse you've ever made suddenly loses its power. This is exactly where profitable traders begin to separate themselves from everyone else. Not when they discover a new strategy, not when they catch a massive winning trade. It begins the moment they stop protecting the version of themselves that keeps making the same mistakes. Losing traders often build their identity around being right. They celebrate predictions instead of discipline. They defend bad decisions because admitting a mistake feels like admitting personal failure. Every losing trade becomes an attack on their confidence. Every winning trade inflates their ego. Their emotions swing with every candle on the screen, and without realizing it, they become addicted to proving themselves instead of improving themselves. Understand this. Your identity is always stronger than your goals. If you secretly believe you're impulsive, you'll keep acting impulsively. If you believe you always miss opportunities, you'll chase trades that were never yours to take. If you believe you need to recover every loss immediately, you'll continue feeding the cycle that drains your account. This is why knowledge alone doesn't change people. Identity does. The market has an incredible way of exposing who you really are. It exposes your impatience. It exposes your insecurity. It exposes your need for approval. It exposes your fear of missing out. It exposes every weakness you hope nobody would ever see. But here's the beautiful part. Those weaknesses are not your enemy, they are your teacher. Every painful loss carries a lesson that winning trades rarely provide. Pain gets your attention, pain forces reflection, pain demands change. The traders who eventually succeed are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who stop wasting it. They ask different questions. Instead of asking, "Why did the market do this to me?" they ask, "What did this trade reveal about me?" That single question changes everything. Suddenly, the market becomes a mirror instead of a battlefield. Every loss becomes information instead of humiliation. Every setback becomes an opportunity to remove another layer of ego. Slowly, almost invisibly, a new identity begins to form. You stop trying to impress people with huge wins. You stop chasing screenshots for social media. You stop measuring your worth by today's profit and loss. Instead, you become obsessed with something far more powerful: consistency. You become the kind of trader who follows the plan even when nobody is watching. You become the kind of trader who can accept being wrong without feeling broken. You become the kind of trader who understands that protecting capital is more important than feeding pride. That transformation isn't loud. It doesn't happen overnight. It's quiet. It's uncomfortable. It's built one disciplined decision at a time, one trade at a time, one day at a time, and before you even realize it, you're no longer thinking like the person who started this journey. You're becoming someone the old version of you would barely recognize. But that new identity will face its greatest test when emotions begin screaming louder than logic, because the next breakthrough happens the moment discipline finally becomes stronger than emotion. Chapter 3, the moment discipline became greater than emotion. There comes a day in every profitable trader's journey when nothing about the market changes, yet everything about the results does. The charts look the same, the candles move the same way, the news is just as unpredictable. The opportunities are no different than they were yesterday. So what changed? You did. More specifically, one decision changed everything. You finally stopped allowing your emotions to have the final vote. For years, fear told you to close winning trades too early. Greed convinced you to hold losing trades too long. Hope whispered that the market would come back. Ego insisted that you couldn't possibly be wrong. Every emotion sounded reasonable in the moment. Every emotion came with a convincing story, and every time you listened, you paid for it. Understand this: emotions are not facts. They are temporary reactions. They come, they go. But if you build your trading decisions on temporary emotions, your results will always be temporary too. Professional traders understand something that beginners rarely accept. Success is not created in moments of excitement. It is created in moments of restraint. The trade you didn't take because it didn't fit your rules often becomes more valuable than the trade that made money. The position you close because your plan demanded it becomes more important than the one that accidentally turned into a winner. This is where everything changes. You stop measuring success by profits alone. Instead, you begin measuring success by obedience to your process. Imagine ending the day with a losing trade, but knowing you executed your plan perfectly. That feels strange at first. Your ego wants to argue, your emotions want to complain. But deep inside, something powerful begins to grow. Confidence. Not confidence that every trade will win, but confidence that you can trust yourself regardless of the outcome. That kind of confidence cannot be taken away by one bad day. It cannot be destroyed by one losing streak. It is built on discipline, not results. And discipline is boring. It is repetitive. It asks you to do the same right thing over and over again, even when nobody applauds you. It asks you to wait while everyone else is chasing excitement. It asks you to accept that missing a trade is better than forcing. It asks you to protect your capital as if it were your future. Because it is. This is why consistency feels almost invisible while inconsistency feels dramatic. The market rewards patience in silence but punishes impulsiveness loudly. Every profitable trader eventually learns that excitement is usually expensive, calm is profitable, patience is profitable, humility is profitable. The goal is no longer to feel like a genius after one big trade. The goal is to become so disciplined that your emotions no longer control your behavior. You simply follow your plan, again and again. Day after day, win or lose, you stay the same. The market rises, you stay the same. The market falls, you stay the same. That emotional stability becomes your greatest edge. Because while others react, you remain steady. While others panic, you execute. While others chase, you wait. And that quiet discipline begins producing something that no shortcut can ever deliver: consistency. But consistency is only the foundation, because the final transformation happens when your daily habits become so powerful that profitability is no longer something you chase. It becomes the natural consequence of who you have become. Chapter 4: The Silent Habits of Profitable Traders. What if I told you that the biggest difference between a profitable trader and a struggling trader isn't visible on a trading screen? You won't find it in a chart pattern. You won't hear it in a market prediction. You won't notice it by looking at someone's trading setup. The real difference exists in the quiet moments that nobody else ever sees. It exists before the market opens. It exists after the market closes. It exists in the habits repeated every single day when there is no excitement, no applause, and no instant reward. This is where the professionals quietly build the future while everyone else is chasing shortcuts. Think about it. Your life is nothing more than a sum of your daily habits. Trading is no different. Every impulsive click is a habit. Every rush decision is a habit. Every excuse is a habit. But so is patience. So is preparation. Profitable traders understand that extraordinary results are almost always created by ordinary actions repeated consistently. They don't wake up asking, how much money can I make today? They ask, can I execute my process with excellence today? That small shift changes everything, because money becomes the byproduct instead of the obsession. They review yesterday's trades without blaming the market. They accept mistakes without attacking themselves. They prepare for different scenarios instead of predicting a single outcome. They know exactly how much they are willing to lose before they ever think about how much they could gain. That sounds simple, but simplicity is often the hardest thing to master because the human mind is naturally attracted to excitement. It craves action. It wants certainty where none exists. It wants instant rewards instead of delayed success. Profitable traders train themselves to resist those impulses. They learn to become comfortable with waiting for the right setup, waiting for confirmation, waiting for the market to come to them instead of chasing every moving candle. They understand that doing nothing is often the most profitable decision they can make. That patience feels uncomfortable at first because your emotions mistake activity for progress. But activity without discipline is just expensive entertainment. Let that sink in. Every unnecessary trade quietly steals not only your capital, but also your confidence. Every unnecessary trade reinforces the habit of emotional decision-making. On the other hand, every disciplined decision strengthens your identity. Every time you follow your rules despite the temptation to break them, you become a little stronger. Every time you walk away from a trade that doesn't meet your criteria, you prove to yourself that you are in control. That self-trust compounds just like capital compounds, day after day, week after week, month after month. Eventually, discipline is no longer something you force yourself to practice. It becomes who you are. The market no longer dictates your emotions because your habits have become stronger than your impulses. You stop looking for excitement and start looking for consistency. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop hoping and start preparing. That is the silent transformation almost nobody talks about. It doesn't happen in one trade. It happens in thousands of tiny decisions that nobody celebrates. And one day you look back and realize the most valuable thing you ever built wasn't your account balance. It was your character. Because once your character becomes stronger than your emotions, there is only one final realization left to discover. The moment when profitability stops feeling like a goal and starts becoming the natural consequence of the person you have chosen to become. Chapter 5. The moment everything changed forever. Close your eyes for a second and imagine yourself 1 year from now. The charts are still moving. The headlines are still filled with fear and excitement. There are still winning days and losing days. But something feels completely different. You are no longer emotionally exhausted after every trade. You no longer wake up wondering if today will finally be the day you make everything back. You no longer stare at every candle as if your future depends on it. Instead, there is a quiet confidence inside you, a confidence that doesn't come from predicting the market. It comes from trusting yourself. That is the moment everything changes forever. It doesn't happen because the market suddenly becomes easier. It happens because you finally become stronger. You stop chasing certainty in an uncertain world. You stop trying to force outcomes you cannot control. You stop believing that one trade will change your life, because now you understand something most people never do. One trade never makes a trader. Thousands of disciplined decisions do. Every chapter of your journey has been leading to this realization. First, you stopped blaming the market. Then you changed your identity. Then you chose discipline over emotion. Then you built habits that quietly transformed your character. Now all those pieces come together. You no longer trade to prove anything, you trade to execute. You no longer fear losses because you understand they are simply part of the business. You no longer celebrate wins as if you've conquered the world because you know tomorrow will demand the same discipline all over again. This emotional balance becomes your greatest advantage. While others panic during volatility, you remain calm. While others chase every breakout, you patiently wait. While others let greed rewrite their plan, you trust the process that you've built. One decision at a time. And here's the irony. The less obsessed you become with making money, the more consistently money begins to follow. Why? Because your focus shifts from outcomes to execution, from hoping to preparing, from reacting to responding. You realize that profitable trading has never been about finding perfection. It has always been about becoming the kind of person who can repeatedly make good decisions under pressure. The market never changed. You changed. And once you change, your results eventually have no choice but to follow. Let that sink in. The market rewarded the person you became, not the strategy you found. That is why true success in trading is never an external victory. It is an internal one. It is the victory over fear, the victory over ego, the victory over impatience, the victory over the voice that kept telling you to quit or to gamble. One more time. Every profitable trader has lived through that battle. Every consistently successful trader has stood where you stand today, wondering if change was even possible. It was. It is. And it always will be for the person willing to master themselves before trying to master the market. So as you leave this video, remember one thing above all else. Your greatest investment is not the next trade you take. It is the person you become before you take it. Change that person, and your trading will change. Strengthen that person, and your results will strengthen. Master that person, and one day you'll look back and realize the moment everything changed for profitable traders was never about the market at all. It was the moment they finally changed themselves. If that moment begins today, then your future may already be very different from your past.